Hi there, I'm Birgit O'Connor, and welcome to the world of watercolor painting. Now, today I'm going to be sitting down with a very good friend of mine, Ingrid Butler of Moth Marblers, and we're going to discuss a little bit about the business of art. Now, I met Ingrid years ago when I first started out doing shows and festivals. And to help give you an idea of who she is and what she does, many of her designs have been included in museum collections throughout the world. For instance, here's a piece from the Metropolitan Museum of Art of one of her collaborative pieces with her late husband, Dana Draper. Now, Ingrid's studio is in Sausalito, California, in the ICB building, and you can find out more about her on her website, ingridbutler.com, or on YouTube. So join us as we sit down at the table and talk about the business of art.
Everybody was so locked into that this is what kind of artist do you want to be? Do you want to be a fine artist, period? Do you want to be, and that's like a starving artist, right? Or,
Do you want to be a successful,
there you go.
right? A success, right?
A successful artist.
And I think if you're going to be a successful artist, you should probably take a course in business, because it's just not this romantic idea of buying some canvases and paint and putting some paint on a canvas. It's a long evolution of learning technique. And once you get the technique and once you get your own personal style and people are responding to it, you need to have some kind of business background to know how do you make money? What do you do with the money? How you have to pay the franchise tax board, you have to pay your rent, you have to pay the PG&E bill. I think if you're a painter, you almost need like 3 galleries to pay for all your expenses, to have 3 people working for you. But like Birgit, you've done it all on your own, in your own way, which I really admire. But a lot of people, a lot of artists, a lot of painters go the gallery route. And that's a tough one, too, to get the galleries and make sure they don't go out of business and that they pay you on time.
And pay you.
Yeah. And the shipping and the handling. So I say to new people that want to be artists that they really have to consider, what it means to be an artist. It also means to be somewhat of a savvy business person, or else have someone in your corner that can do some legwork for you.
But the reality is that not everybody has somebody, and usually the person is a spouse that does, all the successful artists that I have seen usually have a spouse that does that. It's usually the woman that does all the work. It's not usually the man that supports the woman, but, and also if they wait for something, then it becomes an obstacle.
Now wait for...
You know what I mean? If you just think, oh, I'm not ready because I don't have the right setup. I don't have a business manager. I don't know this. I don't have that. It's like if you just sit there and wait, then
you overwhelm yourself.
Yeah,
right.
Nothing happens.
You have to throw yourself into it. And then hopefully all the other elements will follow.
Or you're like me where you just continue to bump into walls and you go, oh, that might not be the way to go. Or this is the way to go, just like willing to, I guess, basically kind of be a cowboy in doing that, just. So you have such an amazing history, and also where you are with your art and what you've done, and having it in all those museums. So this may not be the thought for you, but but you've also done the retail business, and
I love retail.
So you know this.
I know retail.
This business.
Yeah.
So what's also happening is that a lot of artists are doing Vita, for scarves and bags and things like that. But there isn't a lot of, I don't know Vita very well, but the royalties on anything like that usually isn't big. You're not going to get rich on anything like that.
Right.
And we can do that to get our designs out there, et cetera, and all that. But anyway, the big deal, what I saw the other day, is, people are doing the yoga clothes. And you've got some awesome designs that would be on yoga clothes. Because, my son's girlfriend was wearing something from Shahara, and Shahara does beautiful detailed work, lots of dots, very interesting. And, with mine... My paintings, I don't think would look, maybe if I took a section of it, but they're, it just, the looser style would work. But you've got patterns.
Right. It's more textile oriented, what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have sold to some textile companies over the years. Yeah, I would love to do more of that. And now you can with computers, you can just take an image and morph it and change it and do different colorations on it. And just with one image, you can take it and use it over and over again with a fresher look or a different look, a
But
different
the work
twist.
that I've been seeing lately from you, I mean, your work has always been amazing. I mean, it's been in high demand for a very, very long time. But to see that your color palette has changed.
Yeah, well, my color palette really changes according to the seasons. Because a lot of the art supply stores that I service, that I supply paper to, they order about every 3 to 4 months. So they want seasonal papers. Christmas time is like jewel tones. Autumn, of course, are more of the earth tones. Spring is brighter, more cheerful. Spring, summer, so they sort of roll into each other. So it keeps me always motivated. And I always have to be about 4 months ahead of the season. I mean, because what I do is one of a kind, so I'm not like a big factory. And that seems to work. That works fine for my the stores that I service or supply.
But wouldn't that be awesome if you drop one of your images into that? Even if you did Vita, and you could do bags and purses without having to do all the retail or hanging out at the thing.
Or having inventory.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
I can see your work. That would be just amazing for a lot of your patterns. I mean, I'm super. I don't even do yoga. I mean, I'm thinking definitely do not do yoga. I was actually talking about maybe doing the art of yoga. The art of yoga, not necessarily that, or the mental mind of yoga. That means pick up your brush,
Right.
or I am thinking.
Well, you may not do yoga, but you do meditation, because whenever you create a piece of artwork, you are in another dimension. You're not here on planet Earth anymore. You have transcended the earthly plane. And I love that feeling. I mean, hours can go by and all of a sudden you go, oh my gosh, it's that 5 hours have gone by. It's a wonderful
And I know
feeling.
if I get pulled out of that zone, I'm not a very
Right.
pleasant person to be
Right.
around. I wouldn't say bad or mean, but I just get kind of grouchy,
But something that I've always questioned, and I don't know what this is psychologically, but I can have an incredibly successful day in the studio, and I leave feeling really satisfied, and then I get home and I'm antsy again. I need to do more.
I know. I understand.
And that's some kind of hunger. It's like, Ingrid, why can't you just relax? Just sit down. But I can't, because I'm like addicted to something new and something new I can create. And it just is so stimulating. It's probably adrenaline. That's what I'm looking for. I'm seeking adrenaline. I just can't go flat.
I totally understand, because I'm thinking, why do I try to do as much as I do? I love it all, Yeah, and
You
you
love
get
life.
a new spark, a new idea, and we implement them. We're not the
Right.
kind of people that just sit around and, I mean, there's so many people in life that'll have an idea and then they just don't take action. We're action oriented.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's discovery and curiosity, and that is very strong in you, and it's fairly strong in me. But then there's some people walking around that seem kind of sleepy,
That's a good way of describing it. Sleepy.
Pleasant way.
I'm thinking, is it because of the fog? Because we live on the coast, and actually thinking, going back to the color palette, my landscape colors would always be like more neutral. I have a lot of neutral colors in my things, and then I remember going to Florida, and it's like, oh my God, the sun is so bright.
Right. Yeah.
I think it hurts my eyes. It's so bright, but then you're inspired to have more cleaner colors. There.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I mean, I think there's many pluses of traveling, but I think it's like the seasons. If you go to Seattle, you're going to get that silver gray, that wonderful silver gray that drives people crazy. Or you go to Arizona and you have this blaring, bright sun that just changes your whole frame of mind, your whole color sense. It's good. It's healthy, really, to move around
Well-
into different areas.
You know, my friend Sandra and I have had this conversation where it's like we need a cloud in the sky. Too much, too much blue is
It's
overwhelming.
Yeah. Now, you know, the funny thing is when I go to Hawaii, you would think that in Hawaii I would be mixing colors and painting and but Hawaii doesn't do that for me. Hawaii actually kind of calms me down. And for a month, I just kind of chill out. And somehow, when I come back, you know, some kind of unconsciousness has transpired in my little brain. And then I get all these new ideas coming out. So I do kind of relax for 1 month every year. I'm just realizing that right now, that when I usually come back, I'm full of new ideas. So,
Well, you know, I've also thought about areas as being portals of energy, you know? And so like out there in Stinson Beach, Danielle Steele used to live out there. Are a lot of very creative people that are out here in this area, in Marin, and out
yeah,
there
in
West
Marin in general. It's
And
a
also
lot
look at all the startups. All the tech people are down there in
Right.
Palo Alto and San Francisco and all that. And like when I lived in Petaluma, my thought process was more commercial. You know, it was more rubber stamps and cute and teddy bears, but also I had young children at the time.
Right.
And then when we moved out to Bolinas, that creative switched. But when I've gone to Hawaii, which isn't very often, when I've come back, I think I probably have looked my best because people say, "Oh, you look so great," you know. And when I'm over there, they go, "Are your eyes blue or green or are they purple?"
Well-
and I thought, "Wow," you know.
The ocean is talking to your eyes, and your eyes are, you know, your eyes are absorbing the color of the ocean over there, and you're rested.
You're
probably.
rested.
You're rested.
Yeah, you feel it's just an amazing, spiritual
Yeah,
experience.
it is.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, if you can just turn off the zoom world and just let in, well, I say it's the Hawaiian vibe, you know, the aloha spirit, which is kind of corny, but you can just be yourself, you know, over there, relax.
Well, see,
Yeah.
Bolinas has got a little bit of that too. It's like everybody says, "Oh, you're on," you know, people are on Bolinas time, and I am obviously not a Bolinas time
You're
person.
in Manhattan time.
I'm go. But and I thought that is not acceptable to me. And also being German too. Actually, my girlfriend Sandra, she knows that if she tells me, anybody that knows me knows that if I say, or I'm going to show up at a certain time,
You're going to be there.
I'm going to be there. I expect them to be there.
I'll probably
Isn't that
be
the German
early.
thing?
Yeah, I know. I'm
We'll
always
be early.
early.
Right,
You know.
right. So
Why are you so early? You weren't supposed to be here.
it's in our DNA. You know, it seems like.
Yeah.
Oh.
And also, you know, if I get a lot of anxiety now because I'm not driving and people come to get me. If you were coming to get me, I would not get anxiety because I know you'd be here. And if you weren't, you'd call me and tell me, you know, I'm not going to be. But other people, you know, I don't know them. I don't know what their rhythm is. And I get anxious.
I'd be anxious. I wouldn't be able to. I totally get that.
Yeah, because you just don't know. But then once you get to know them a little bit and their driving habits and whatnot, then you can relax a little bit.
So I'll wrap this one up here.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining me today, Ingrid.
Oh, it's been fun.
I always love seeing you. And I hope to have more conversations. I think we have a lot of really good things that we can share with people.
Oh, I think so too. And you're so full of great energy and new ideas, and it's been a pleasure. So thanks for having me.
Thank you. I'll see you soon, and
All
I'll bring
right.
some more coffee.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you've got the coffee. I
got-
brought the cookies.
All right, good. That's a deal.
Okay, thanks.
Now that concludes today's episode. And if you are interested in finding more out about Ingrid Butler, just go to her website, ingridbutler.com. Or if you're interested in some of my live workshops or online courses, go to my website, birgitoconnor.com. Or you can also find me at theworldofwatercolorpainting.com. And in the month of October, we've got 2 online courses starting: The Joy of Painting Loose and Free and Waves and Water. So until next time, have fun and happy painting.